Welcome to Faith-Filled Growing. I'm so glad you're here. In today's episode, we're going to be continuing on my freezer clean out. And in this particular episode, we'll be processing some strawberries that I grew in the last growing season. Um, as they were growing, I just was washing them, chopping the tops off, and then sticking them in the freezer in a Ziploc bag until I could process them later and until I had enough. Well, what I had decided to do was to make some strawberry muffins with them. I didn't have a specific recipe that I wanted to use, but instead, what I ended up doing was I went to Grok and I asked Grok to give me a recipe for strawberry muffins with a certain amount of fresh, homegrown, frozen strawberries. And what you'll see is the recipe that I got from Grok. If you follow along, you'll get the entire recipe. The only thing I did not tell you about was the temperature and how long to bake them. So you bake them at 375 degrees Fahrenheit. And of course, you'll want to have your oven preheated first. And then you bake them for anywhere from 18 to 22 minutes. And you can know that they're ready to come out when you stick a toothpick in them and there's no wet batter to come out on them. So anyway, let's just go ahead and jump right in. Today is all about cleaning out the freezer. I have fresh strawberries that I grew from my garden last year, and so I am going to make some muffins, but the muffin recipe calls for these to be coarsely chopped and to not, they're flying all over the place, and to not thaw them out. So I just want to quickly kind of chop these, and then I'm going to stick them back in the freezer. I've got my strawberry muffin recipe. I dripped some water on it. I'm going to get together all of the ingredients that I need. I usually always like to get all my ingredients measured out first before I start baking, because I find that if I don't, I'm more likely to make mistakes or forget something. I've got my tins ready. Now I'm going to start measuring out all my ingredients that I need so that I know that I have everything. Okay, it says I need 3 cups of all-purpose flour. Okay, 3 cups of granulated sugar, 1 tablespoon of baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, 2 large eggs, 1 cup of whole milk or buttermilk for extra tenderness. So I don't have whole milk and I don't have buttermilk, but what I do have is milk, and I have some lemon juice, and I have vinegar. You can make like a cultured milk that's kind of like buttermilk that will have the tanginess of buttermilk using vinegar or lemon juice with your milk. So that's what I'm going to do. I am going to take 1 cup of milk and add, I might have to look it up, but I think it's a teaspoon of vinegar to it. I'll look it up and double check on that. Okay, so I thought I had milk in the refrigerator and I don't have any. So I will be back. I'm going to go to the store and I'm going to go get some milk and a couple other things that we just need. And I think while I'm going to be there, I'll probably pick up, if they have it, a small thing of buttermilk. Just because buttermilk is a lot more flavorful and I like the tanginess that it'll put in. Yes, I can Substitute, and I've done it many times and it works. But if I'm going to the store anyway, I might as well. Or maybe I'll buy whole milk and add the vinegar. Then I don't end up with any leftover buttermilk. I don't know. I'll decide when I get to the store what I'm going to do. But I will pick this up in a minute. I am back from the store. My grocery did not have any buttermilk. So, we normally in our household, we normally get 2% milk. So what I decided I would do is I would buy a gallon of the 2%, but I would just buy this small 14-ounce container of whole milk. I am going to add vinegar to this, and it's 1 cup of whole milk, which is what I need, I believe. Yeah, 1 cup of whole milk and 1 tablespoon of vinegar. And so, okay, I've got my 1 cup there, white vinegar here, and I'm going to use 1 tablespoon. And just kind of stir that around and then let it sit. And by the time I get ready to use it, you'll see it's thick and what you would consider cultured. So there's my butter. My milk. Moving on, I need a 1/2 cup of unsalted butter, melted, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. So I always make my own vanilla extract. It's super easy to do. It just takes some planning in advance. I don't guess I have a date written on here. I usually put a date on it, but I didn't on this. So I have my vanilla beans in here. I don't know if you can see that very well, but basically, if you take a vanilla bean and you slice it right down the center so that it opens up the vanilla bean, and you put that into I have it in an Absolute vodka. The reason I have Absolute vodka is because this was the perfect size for my vanilla bean. I just think that this is a perfect size bottle, and this is what they sell at my local grocery store. So that's why I use this. You can use rum. You can use any kind of alcohol that you want, but you do want something that's a high proof alcohol. Well, this one's 40% alcohol by volume. I guess I could have gotten something that was more. This works. So, but anyhow, you slice the vanilla bean in there. I usually use 3 or 4 vanilla beans. And you just let it sit for 6 months before you start using it. And you shake it occasionally. Here, I'll show you. I've got a couple other ones. So I started these because I knew I was getting low on this one, and I wanted to be sure and have some by the time I run out of this jar. So I have 2 more jars, and occasionally I'll just go into the cabinet as I'm getting other things out, and I'll see it sitting there, and I'll just give it a shake. And you can see, hopefully, that's vanilla that's floating around in there. So anyway, but that's how you make vanilla extract. And it's so much better than if you buy vanilla extract, because you can get vanilla extract. I don't know if I have any of the bad stuff here. You can get some vanilla extract that is not really real vanilla extract. This is better. Make your own. Make your own. Okay, so we are going to do 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. Okay, got that. And we've got the 4 cups of strawberries in the freezer already. And then I've got the sugar. Okay, so we are ready to start mixing. Let me put this away and this away. Okay, I've got all my ingredients ready and I think we're ready to start. What I wanted to show you though was the milk that I put the vinegar in. I want you to look and see what this looks like. See how that's thick? That's cultured milk. Flour here. I think I'm going to need a bigger bowl. But we'll try with this. Here's my baking powder and my baking soda, cinnamon, and salt. This mixed up. So when you're making muffins, you don't want to overwork them. So that's one reason why it's important to mix your dry ingredients good first, is because when I combine the two, I'm not going to mix it like you would cupcakes. So this way, all of my dry ingredients are mixed well. I'm going to put my eggs. Here's my milk. Melted butter. And the vanilla extract. And you want to do this till it's well combined. I'm afraid I'm not going to have room. Whoopsie. Okay, now that's better. So you just want to combine this till it's mixed good, like incorporated. Can you see? And I'm going to scrape the sides. Make sure the bottom okay, I think that's pretty good. I'm going to add some Ghirardelli semi-sweet chocolate also. There we go. These are bound to be yummy with that many strawberries. Now, we're going to do about that much semi-sweet. That's a lot. Maybe we won't do that much. Maybe we'll do 3/4 of a cup. This looks like a lot of strawberries for this, but I haven't ever made this recipe before. So we'll see how it turns out. I think I'm going to go ahead and add the rest of these. Now that I got them kind of mixed in, I'm anxious to try this. It looks delicious to me. I'm just going to start filling my muffins, and yeah, we'll see how this goes. Let them sit here for about 5 minutes, and now I'm just going to transfer them over to the wire rack to finish cooling. We'll see if I can handle them. I want to try one of these. I don't know which one to try. I'm going to try this one. I don't know, maybe I should have let it wait a little longer. Well, this one doesn't look done. Although they did say some strawberry juice is okay. This might be a fail. Might be a fail. But I also didn't let it sit the whole time, so it's hot. I've got a little impatient. It's good. The chocolate with the strawberries. Very good. Hold on. But I can see that it's important to let these cool so they don't pull apart. So good. I'm also thinking it probably would have been better if I would have used those silicone molds instead of the paper. I think the silicone molds would have peeled off better and not stuck to it. But I'm hoping it's just that it stuck to it because they were still warm and just tore very easily. We'll see what they look like and what they taste like after they're cool, because that one was still warm. So that's it for this week's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And I would love to hear if you actually end up making these strawberry muffins. They were pretty darn good. Anyway, if you like things that are anything that involves homesteading, whether it be preserving food, gardening, cooking from scratch, but you don't have a lot of land, that's exactly what this channel is all about. It's about having a homestead mindset and doing things that you can do in your small urban home, whether it be an apartment building or a home in an HOA. There are many things that you can do to homestead. You don't have to have land. And so like some of the upcoming videos that we'll have is putting irrigation in on your garden beds, rendering tallow. That's a future video that's coming up soon. Could be planting seeds, getting seeds started. There's plenty of things that we're going to be doing that I would love to share with you. So if you don't mind, press the like button and then subscribe and then hit the notification bell so that you will be notified of all the future videos coming up. I'd really appreciate it. And thanks so much for being here.